Guys, welcome back to Eduate channel. So today we will be discussing the surgery topics. So our first topic is general surgery and the history of surgery. So if you haven't subscribed this channel yet, feel free to subscribe and hit the bell button for more updates. So moving to the historical perspective of veterinary surgery. Salihotra and Palakapia were the greatest of ancient Indian veterinarians. Salihota treated horses and Palakapia treated elephants. According to the Vedas, the medical science arose from veterinary science. And the earliest work on medicine is known as Atharva Veda, and the oldest veterinary medicine was completely based on Ayurveda. Susruta Samhita is the earliest known work dealing with medical science, especially surgery. Susruta Samhita contains details of the discourses by the holy sage Dhanvantari to his disciple Susruta and his colleagues. Surgery was given a place of honor in Susruta Samhita. A large part of Susruta Samhita is devoted to surgery and it mainly includes preliminary preparations for surgery, various types of instruments and their care, teaching of surgical methods, dressing and bandaging of wounds, symptoms to predict prognosis of the surgical case. So, on these five topics, the book is having many contents. So, special surgical methods will be including application of cautery, removal of foreign bodies and obstructions, surgical grafting, dislocations, piles and fistula, methods of suturing and nursing, a special emphasis on the dissection of dead body of the human body. The first highly organized department of livestock in Indian history has been given to Kautilya in his Arthashastra under the king Chandragupta Maurya. The great Emperor Ashoka developed organized veterinary hospitals throughout his kingdom. One of the reasons for non-availability of ancient knowledge was that non-secretive nature of Indian scholars. Secretive, they were very secretive. Oral discourse were the common ways of knowledge propagation. But in the 16th century, veterinary schools were established in Spain and France and in many other places, and they has got licenses for veterinary practice, but schools did not last long. Major achievements which made modern surgery possible include the development of anesthesia, microbiology, discovery of antibiotics, and methods of blood transfusion. So, these four things made a pavement for the modern surgery. The first public demonstration of either anesthesia was made in 1846 by Morton. A Boston physician, C.P. Jackson, appears to be the first to apply either anesthesia extensively in animals in 1853. Joseph Lister introduced the theory and practice of asepsis. In 1875, one reported intravenous anesthesia using chloral hydrate, and 3 years later, Humbert used it in the horses. Sterilization by boiling was introduced by von Bergmann in 1886. Discovery of X-rays was done by Röntgen in 1895. In 1898, August Beer of Germany produced true spinal anesthesia in animals. In 1901, Quill and Sandrel of France induced subarachnoid anesthesia in horses, cattle, and dogs. The concept of splints to correct overriding fractures in dogs was adopted by Schroeder in 1933. Paralumbar anesthesia was introduced in medical science by Selheim in 1909 and the technique was applied to cattle by Farquharson and Formston in 1940. So, surgery is an art and practice of treating injuries, deformities and other disorders by manual operations or instrumental appliances. Either it can be by manual preparations or by instrumental preparations. In Latin, surgery is referred to as chirurgia. Greek synonym of chirurgia, and the word chair means hand and ergon means to work. The work with hand on live animal or dead. So moving to the classification of surgery. Surgery can actually be classified into many classes based on different criteria. So they are classified mainly according to the nature of surgery, the region or the system which is involved in the surgery, the instruments or the appliances which is used, they are classified. Based on nature of surgery, they are classified as general surgery, where we will be carrying out a general surgery, and it is also called as restorative surgery. Example, rumenotomy. That means cutting out of rumen. Next is extirpative surgery. That means removal of a part. This surgery involves removal of a part. Hysterectomy. Plastic surgery to restore disturbed function and includes reconstructive and cosmetic surgery. The next one is replacement surgery. Means replacement of a diseased part by either by a living tissue, that is actually a vascular graft, or by non-living material, that is heart valve, vein valves, or dead tissue, etc. That is corneal or bone graft. Next is physiological surgery, which involves alterations in the normal physiological mechanisms for the benefit of the whole body. That is mainly having surgery on the vascular shunts and all. Next is surgery done to arrive at a diagnosis. That is called diagnostic surgery. That is biopsy, explorative laparotomy, paracentesis, etc. Next is the experimental surgery. That is actually purely for the experimental purpose. Now, based on the region or system involved, they can be classified as thoracic surgery, cardiovascular surgery, orthopedic surgery, ophthalmic surgery, neurosurgery, urogenital surgery. Now, based on instruments or the appliances used, we can classify them as microsurgery, whereas magnification facilities are used and for specialized surgical procedures. Next is cryosurgery, where we'll be using liquid nitrogen, which will be producing freezing temperature to destroy abnormal tissues. Next is the electrosurgery, where electricity is converted to heat to incise a tissue. In laser surgery, laser beams are used to cut or destroy a diseased tissue. Next is ultrasonic surgery, where we'll be using high frequency waves to destroy a particular tissue or a substance. Lithotripsy is an example. Now, moving to the reasons for surgery. Why we are having surgery? To save the life of an animal. If at all surgery would save, means we should completely rely upon the surgery and go for a surgery. To prolong the life of an animal. To hasten recovery from an injury, that is wound suturing. For elimination of disease process, that is extraction of a tuber, which will produce many pathological problems in the normal body. For cosmetic reasons, ear croppings in many dog breeds. For correcting deformities or malformations, many splints are done in dogs. To aid in diagnosis, that is explorative laparotomy. And for research purpose, we are all doing surgery. So moving to the tenets of Halsted. So these are certain principles. If we are following them, the wound healing will be very clean. So we'll be dealing with the tenets of Halsted in a different video. Thank you.